Congressman, last night in St. Paul, there was a vigil for Representative Melissa Hortman. The community gathered. They spent the time. They wanted to share that moment with each other. Governor Tim Walz and First Lady Gwen Walz also attended the vigil. In the course of this investigation, it has been determined that this individual had a list of names, and it turns out you've confirmed your name was also on the accused shooter's notes. A criminal affidavit revealed several of Vance Boatler's notebooks contain the names of more than 45 state and federal public officials. Sir, this is a sobering moment. We have watched the arc from the congressional baseball game shooting to now. The incidences involving our elected officials, including the sitting president of the United States, is a very sobering and I think disturbing reality for us. What words would you have for all of us at this point? Knowing as you try to carry out your duties that there are these threats and that perhaps we should pay closer attention and take them more seriously.
We have to take them seriously, but also we've got to tone down the rhetoric. We've got to tone down the rhetoric that leads to this violence. Political violence is on the rise. And at least on this issue, Democrats and Republicans should come together. I was very, very disappointed, to say the least, when I saw Senator Mike Lee dismiss what has happened in Minnesota in a mocking way. I think that that type of behavior only serves to encourage more of it, when in fact we should be condemning it in a uniform way. And I've introduced a resolution to that effect with Republicans, and I hope that we can all say that regardless of your political beliefs, political violence and the rhetoric that would incite it has no place in America.
I'm very interested to know where that resolution is going to go. I mean, look, Congressman, you are being so generous, as you often are. But it is Republicans, the Republican Party in this country, who has ratcheted up the rhetoric. Democrats haven't ratcheted up the rhetoric as far as I know. When the President of the United States, when the former President of the United States candidate Donald Trump was shot, it was Democrats that actively spoke up and spoke out. They didn't have to be nudged. But from the president to Senator Mike Lee to the Speaker of the House of Representatives, it is unconscionable. So what are the conversations with your Republican colleagues? Is it getting a little more terse and pointed? Because at this point, the former Speaker of the Minnesota House of Representatives is dead.
I thought that what happened with Alex Padilla was political violence, Simone. I thought that that was an incident that kind of, to me, speaks to the disdain that this current administration has for the rules, the norms, and the ethics of government. What they did, of course, what the president did in pardoning the January 6th insurrectionists was perhaps the height of, in my opinion, what would encourage more of that to happen in the future. And so I see where you're coming from on this. I think that you have, unfortunately, you have a lot of material to work from. At the same time, I think right now we have to come together, because this violence could touch anybody at this point. And it doesn't take, given the wide kind of access to weapons across the landscape, given the mental health issues that we have across the landscape, the rhetoric that's being used could easily kind of ignite something that none of us would want to see happen.
Congressman Raja Krishnamoorthi, we appreciate your time tonight. Thank you. Up next,
Thank you
the
so
Major
much.
League Baseball team.